Hi guys, good evening. Please confirm that you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? I just need somebody to confirm that they can hear me. Thank you for joining early.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? You can put it in the chat box if you're not able to unmute.
Yes, sir.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Hi again, good evening. So we'll just hold on for a few minutes, say 3, 4, 5 minutes for more people to join on, and we'll get started. So yes, on the prompt of 7:05, we'll get this show on the road.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm just going to leave it in the chat box. Have more people. Okay, we've got 2 minutes, 2 more minutes. Okay. One minute to go. All right, so let's get to it. Good evening again, guys. Please confirm that you can hear me. I just need somebody to wave or put in the chat on mute if you can. All right, thank you, Favor. I see your hands. Thank you, Mohammed. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you again for joining in this session. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Fred. My name is Joba. My name is Joba Jelabi. I'm instructor in the Copywriting program. And I'm here basically this evening to talk to you guys about the amazing opportunity that freelance copywriting offers. So if you are here for something different, if you're here for something else, I might have to disappoint you at this point. But if you are here to learn about the realities of freelance copywriting and the opportunities thereof in earning, I think the tagline did say earning as much. Well, it's not that much, but a millionaire really. And yeah, basically, but the overall goal is introducing to you guys a skill that allows you to earn amazingly online. And that's what we are going to be talking about for the next 1 hour thereabouts. So I'll be sharing my screen. I have some very brief slides to guide the conversation really, because I want to make this session as pragmatic as possible. I want to make it as close to reality as possible. I want to make it as relatable for you guys as possible. So it's not going to be a reading slides kind of session. It's going to be a conversational kind of session. It's going to be me speaking from my experience, me speaking from experience of people I've worked with, and helping you guys to identify the opportunities that exist from those experiences, of course, in line with what the promise of the subject of the conversation is. So please, if you are not too busy, I hope that you're not too busy, please try to engage me as much as you can for the next 1 hour plus, and let's see what we can make of that time. So I would be sharing my screen now. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Hi guys. I just need somebody to confirm. Chat box. I believe everybody should be able to unmute themselves. So if you need to unmute yourself at any point in the conversation, please let's do that. Although we would want to make it orderly, so to prevent distractions and side talks and all that. So let's try to have some order with that. But it's all right if you need clarification with anything at any point, please don't hesitate to ask. That's why I'm here. So yes, once again, the theme really of this session is how to earn your first million from freelance copywriting. Yes, no previous experience required, and we'll get to talk more about that in the course of the session. But just to introduce myself, my name is Joba Jelabi. I'm a copywriter. In fact, these days I probably just call myself a marketing communications professional, because from copywriting I've been able to expand to other spaces, to other niches in marketing comms. Although I'm still very much in tune, I'm still very much passionate about copy and the opportunities that copywriting offers. And that's why I'm also able to work as instructor at the Copywriting program. I'm sure that some of you here have probably heard or seen the Copywriting program, either in passing or somewhere, or maybe read about it in an email or somewhere. But yes, we would also be getting to explore what the Copywriting program offers, but that will be much later in this session. So just as I said, please, just lend me this next hour, really. And I promise you that it's going to be as engaging as possible. I've tried to make it as engaging as possible. That's why I've not come at you to bamboozle with so much slides and phonetics and all that. I just want us to have pragmatic conversations in tune with today's realities. Okay, I'm guessing that's fine. So I'll just move on now to the next slide. Okay, so I have this prompting question to start the conversation. And the question says that if you were given 3 months to earn a millionaire, what skill do you currently have that you can offer to earn that in 3 months? And I want some responses. Typically, it's supposed to be rhetorical, but I'd like some responses. So if you can respond, please unmute and respond, or put it in the chat box. So I come to you now and I say, oh, you have 3 months to earn 1 million. What can you currently do to earn it? It could be anything really, tailoring, bricklaying, whatever skill, anything, whether formal or informal. Anybody has any responses? Or do I assume the silence means nobody? In fact, it could even be your job as well. It could as well be your job. Oh, your current full-time, your current 9 to 5 will pay you $1 million in 3 months. It means that you have to earn, I think, an average of about 350 thereabouts monthly. Anybody? Nobody wants to share. Okay. I'll just okay. But so let me tweak the question to make it easier. If you were given 3 months to earn 1 millionaire, what skill do you think you can acquire, or do you think you can use to earn that money within that period? So I'm not asking now about what you have. I'm asking about what you can have, what you can get to earn that much within that period. Okay, I have some responses. Vic Rice says any digital skill. Interesting response. Ibrahim Yahya says email marketing. Another interesting response. I think that there's even some overlap in both responses because email marketing is a digital skill. Sulaiman says poultry production. Okay. Maybe I agree with that. If you have good capital, and but I'm not sure. I don't know how long it takes to rear poultry up until the point where you can start to sell them to earn. But maybe if you get them at the right age, you can earn in 3 months. So maybe poultry production. Victoria says ISO auditing skills. Lovely. I know that's about standards and process and all that in organizations. So yeah, okay. Kenneth says online marketing skills, similar with the email marketing and digital skill suggestion we had earlier. Okay, I think I've read online marketing. Ahmad says investment in real estate. Ahmad, I might be forced to disagree with you because I don't think real estate is a short-term investment. If you invest in real estate now, I'm not sure that you can earn in 3 months, except it's a really, really happening place. I don't think you can earn in 3 months. It's more long-term. Real estate is more long-term. So in real estate, you are not looking for immediate gains. You're looking at the long term when it comes to earning in real estate. But so thank you guys. Thank all of you guys for your responses. Okay, Adeyemi says copywriting or website building. That's also a fun response. But the thing about that is because website building can be website design, it can be website development. There's multiple angles to it, so I don't know which, but okay, copywriting or website building. Cliff says the truth is it's easy to learn any skill, but the challenge is how can one transform that skill into money, into moolah. I agree with you totally. I agree with you. Yes, a lot of times monetizing the skills that you have is a challenge. But again, it's also correct to acknowledge that not all skills offer you that earning ability at the same level, on par. So it might require some skills are able to land you more because they are in high demand relative to some other skills. So it's also correct to acknowledge that fact. And also maybe I want to disagree with you a little about the part of learning a skill, because I promise you not all skills are easy to learn, especially at some point in our lives. It becomes slightly more difficult to learn than others. So it may not be totally correct to say that all skills are easy to learn, but I agree with you very much that all skills must be monetized, or at least most skills should be monetized. And sometimes monetizing those skills are the challenges that a lot of us face. Okay. So that being said, thank you again, everybody, for your responses. And right now, I'm just going to be going to share some of my experiences. Okay, so yeah, I think the next slide should be my experience. So the first, I'm going to speak now in cumulative. I think I started copywriting. So writing generally, I started writing generally as far back as 2014. And I'm talking about writing for money, writing for to earn. I'm not talking about writing stuff, my personal stuff, or writing academic stuff, or writing other kind of stuff. I'm talking about commercial kind of writing. That, I write for you and you pay me. I started doing that as far back as 2014, but I don't think I did cumulatively now. I did not earn my first million up until 2015. I did not. And I will share reasons why, and why I think that you stand a better chance to do your first million if you start freelance copywriting today. Why you stand a better chance to do your first million faster than me, much earlier than me. So yes, when I started writing in 2014, at the time, I did not even know anything about international markets, freelance spaces, and escrow platforms. I did not know anything about those places because I had some tendency to write. An older colleague, a friend, an older colleague, I just reached out to me and said, "Oh, I said that you like to write. Are you able to help me write this? And I'll pay you this." I think the first pay I got from writing was 7,000 naira. I was to write blogs, about 6 blogs, and I was going to be paid 7,000 naira. At the time, I was so excited because, man, somebody's actually going to pay me to write. That was enough. In fact, if they probably offered me lesser than that, most likely I would have taken the job, because at that point for me, I was just intrigued by the idea that I could be paid to write. And that was the first time I wrote. So also for the next few months following that, I continued to do small jobs like that. Maybe not small in the context of writing, because some of those writings really demanded a lot, but small in with respect to the pay. So 7,000 here, 10,000 there, maybe 20,000 every now and then, depending on the volume of the work. So I did a lot of that in that first year of my writing. And at the time, I was a big boy, because this was me being paid to write, and it felt so thrilling. It felt to me, I was doing good. I think I was doing good. And much later, by 2015, much later, I started to discover, because it then started to become a thing. A lot more people started to reach out to me to write for them. And I had to start to inquire, why were these people reaching out to me to write for them? Why were these people, they could as well write these things themselves if they wanted to publish it and all that. So I started to inquire why they needed me to write for them. And that's where I started to learn about freelance marketplaces. So apparently what was happening was that these folks were aware of freelance markets. They were aware of job boards. So they would go on these job boards, they'll go on these platforms to go and pitch, to go and look for jobs. And they'll get those jobs. And sometimes either because they were not able to execute those jobs, or because those jobs were a lot, they would then look for writers that they could work with and pay, and take the job, then go to submit on those job boards and get paid. Now that by itself was not a bad thing. That's typical middleman business. So it worked. But where it felt a little off was in the fact that these folks, so because of the nature of the job boards at that time, in fact, almost all of them paid. The transactions that happened on there happened in US dollars. So it means that, for instance, Fiverr at the time was actually Fiverr. So it means that people came on Fiverr to pay $5 to get stuff done. So of course, if the job was much more than that, they would be able to scale the charge or increase the fee. but the idea was, oh, $5 gets somebody that can do what you need to be done. And that was the rough idea. So at that time, I think the USD was not as bad, definitely. 2015. I don't remember what the rates were, but I think the rates were definitely not more than, I don't think they were more than 200 naira. Rates were, I mean, we were complaining that the rates were bad, but they were definitely not as bad as we have it today. So I think somewhere, I don't know what the USD rates were in 2015, but they were thinking about 160, 150-ish, thereabout. And that brings me to my first point. So I remember I mentioned earlier about how if you started to write as a freelance copywriter today, you most likely will earn your first million before me. And that's why. That's the first reason why. Because today, I mean, as I had to sell, I think I had to sell some dollars last week, and the rates were at 690 plus. I don't know where they are today. Most likely I've touched 700. So it means that if you earned $5, so let's even use that $5. If you earned that $5 that I earned all those years ago, well, I didn't earn $5 because the people that got the jobs got paid, and the platform charged the 20% fee, so they got $4 and maybe paid me something in there. But if you earn the same, let's say use $5 benchmark. So if you earn $5 today, as against me who earned $5 those years ago, I promise you that you are doing more in Naira. I don't know if that illustration is clear or it makes sense to you guys. So it means that if you did $1,000 today, and I did $1,000 those years ago, you have earned more Naira than me. And that of course, by default brings us to that old popular, you should be earning in dollars and you should be on the right side of the exchange rates. And yes, it is a valid point because, just as I said, I mean, all these years ago, we're earning in dollars and it felt good and the rates were not this bad. So if it took me 6 months, for instance, to earn $1 million, hi guys. Please confirm that you can hear me. I don't know what happened.
I can hear you, sir.
All right, I'm suspecting the reception. Apologies for that. I'll just go back to sharing my screen. I lost my line of thought. What was I talking about? Okay. I think I was talking about the exchange rates, right? I think I was talking about the exchange rate. So yes, so what I was saying is if 7 years ago, now if 7 years ago, I needed $1,000 to or more or less to have $1 million naira, it means that now you probably need less than that. And that's why the whole talk around earning in dollars now seems to make sense. Because okay, so if I'm on the right side of that rate, the rates are getting worse because we are on the wrong side of it. So it means that now if I had to pay for something in dollars, I would have to pay 700 naira. So if I was earning in naira, my buying power is reduced. But if I was earning in dollars and I still had to pay for things in naira, it made sense. In fact, I'll probably be the one enjoying the benefits of the horrible rates that we have. So that's the first point. That's the first reason why. The second point that I think is going to help you if you start today, start writing freelance copy or doing offering any skill at all actually online, is the fact that, so I remember how I mentioned earlier that Fiverr back then was strictly Fiverr. It means that a lot of times, most of the opportunities you got, in fact, that's where the name came from. It was hinged on $5 jobs. So before you could land top paying jobs, the jobs had to be technical, like actually technical.
and you were required, I mean, in fact, the whole pitching process was not the walk in the park. So a lot of times you find out a lot of freelancers from that era did a lot of $5 jobs, did a lot, especially from this part of the world where we're not exactly familiar with the platforms, and we're not familiar with some of the labor laws outside the country. Okay, so, okay, I think I mean the person. So because you were not familiar with labor laws and all that stuff, you could just settle, and it was fine. You were fine, really, with those $5 jobs. Also, $5 jobs, $4 come in, and you're good. And that's the second part. But nowadays, you find out that, in fact, if at some entry-level jobs on these platforms, some entry-level skills, services that you're able to offer do not cost $5 anymore on these platforms, because again, there's a significant level of competition. Now the world is more aware. There's more global awareness around some of these skills. So people are able to search for these services across borders because of the platform that this guy offers, that these people offer, these platforms offer. And individuals, the professionals themselves, now understand that I should not necessarily be at a disadvantage because I'm not in the same space as this person. I'm doing the same work, so I might as well earn. So if a copywriter in the US, for instance, is able to charge $25,000 for a project, if you are as good as a copywriter here in Africa, nothing says you should charge less. So more professionals are becoming aware of that reality, and it means that people can now demand the worth of their jobs. And thankfully, I mean, because again of that global awareness, even brands, I know, I mean, at some point they used to be hesitant to pay, but what we got to learn as time went by was the fact that hesitancy a lot of times was hinged on the fact that they were not sure of competence. They were not assured of competence. So if we're going to pay you top dollar for a project, we need to have some level of guarantee. We need to be sure that you are able to offer the kind of work, the quality of work that justifies that spend, really. And that's the reality in the global market now. So I've made two very valid points. First, getting on the right side of the exchange rate. I mean, yes, we say it every day, oh, exchange is worse, the country is this and that, but it's painful, or we're able to lament those things because we are on the wrong side. So you're earning in naira, and sometimes you have to make transactions in dollars. It means that you have to buy at that exorbitant rate. But if you had to sell more than you had to buy, I promise you that, in fact, if you had to sell, chances are you most likely won't have to buy a lot. Oftentimes, you don't have to buy a lot. So if you're on the selling side, it would be more fun for you because you are buying for more. And in fact, you might almost be wishing that the rates got worse. First point. Second point is that now with a demonstration of competence, you are able to charge top dollar for good work, irrespective of where you are in the world. And that is going to usher us into today's conversation. So today's conversation, just as I said, is hinged on, yes, earning your first millionaire, freelance copywriting. So yes, I had to do that background talk first because of the earning part. So when a lot of people saw these things, if I had to complain to Jire is also on the CIC team, is sure I love people. A lot of you guys probably received mails from him. I have to complain to Jire that when people see these things, they think that you do a million this and that. But what a lot of people don't see is that what's if you do the math now, how much dollars do you need to earn to have a millionaire? I need someone to quickly do the math. Use maybe 700 or 690 as the rates. How much do you need to earn really? I'm sure that's less than 2K. You need to do $8 to earn a millionaire. At that rate, I mean, a millionaire, $1,000 is about 690K. So $2,000 is over a millionaire. And that's one of the tricky things. That's one of the amazing things that you now look at and you wonder, why then do we not have as much millionaires, especially with the emergence of tech? I asked this question earlier, and a lot of people were able to give me suggestions. Do this, do email marketing, do online this, do this and that. Yes, so it means that we are conscious of these things. And maybe to some level we have started to learn, because nowadays, again, found out that there's a lot of learning going on. People are, okay. So Esther did the math, and she says 2003 to 3. I don't know what rates you used, but yeah. So let's let it. So you need to earn 2K USD to have a millionaire. Okay. But even at that, so 2K USD, and the next thing you start to think about, or the next thing that I expect your mind to start to bugger around is, how hard is it to earn $2,000? I mean, if it was, I mean, that's what's happening in my mind. How hard is it to earn $2,000 as against earning, what's it called, 1 millionaire? So this is when you say 1 millionaire. Oh, a lot of people shiver. Oh, it's 1 millionaire. But how hard is it to earn $2,000? Okay, and that's of course going to usher us into this opportunity that we are talking about today, which is freelance copywriting. For those that have some background, if you've ever come across it, you probably know what it means. But for those that don't, sorry, I think I moved. Okay, I think I might have. Oh, I think I left out a slide. So I had a slide defining what copywriting was. I'm probably just going to speak to that from top of my head. I probably left out that slide. So basically, freelance copywriting. Of course, freelance can apply to anything else, any other skill, as a matter of fact. But copywriting, that's the highlight, that's the base, that's the fundamental part of the conversation. I'd like to get, I mean, if you know what copywriting is, does anybody know what copywriting is? If you do, please share. What do you think copywriting is? What's copywriting to you? Have you tried it? I want some feedback at this point, especially from folks, or even if you don't exactly, if you have a vague idea, please share that big idea with us. What you think copywriting is. Anybody, you can unmute and respond. You can also put it in the chat box. I just want to carry out some quick survey, see, or if you've never heard of it before, that's also fine. You can also put it in the chat box if you've never heard of copywriting before. I'd really just like to know. Okay, so nobody's unmuting, so I'm guessing nobody wants to say it to the mic. But please put your responses in chat box if you can. I'd really love to hear from you. But basically, to make it easy for us, so copywriting, simply put, there are several definitions you see online. It's writing for sales, writing for this, writing for that. Okay, oh, I have some responses already, so I'm just going to read those responses before I go into my definition. Okay, Vic Rice says, it is writing persuasive words in order to drive sales for your business. That's correct, I think. Yeah, it is correct in some context. Muhammad says, Muhammad is defining copywriting, and there's copywriting in that definition. He says it's the ability to convince someone to do something through copywriting. Muhammad is being safe, maybe too safe. I mean, we are defining copywriting. Elizabeth says she thinks copywriting is an aspect of writing that is written to represent a brand. I like that attempt. So yes, that is also correct in some context. And we will get to all this, we'll get to what makes all these definitions correct shortly. Okay? Anybody else? Okay, nobody. So I would first go to the first definition that we have here from Vic Rice. It says writing persuasive words in order to drive sales for your business. And this is correct. As a matter of fact, at the simplest, most fundamental definition, I mean, in its, if you want to say it to a kid, somebody in primary school, I think copywriting is simply writing words to get somebody to do something. Really, that is it. So if all I need to do is write, go to bed, and somebody will go to bed, I promise you that you've written copy. if all I need to do is write, you are hungry, to get somebody to go to eat food, then I've written copy. So simply put, that's just it at its most fundamental, unceremonious definition. Copywriting is basically writing to get people to take action. Simply. So now, all these other definitions that you most likely will come across online would be hinged on what the action is. So because a lot of times these actions are usually tied to business outcomes, business outcomes, they're tied to sales and all that stuff. That's why this crisis definition would be correct. Writing persuasive words to drive sales to the business. So in this context now, the action that you are getting people to take with your writing is sales, is getting them to buy whatever your brand is offering, whatever your product or service you're selling. That's simply it. But sometimes, which of course limits this definition, sometimes that action is not sales. You're not getting people to buy a product. Sometimes the action is getting them to register for a conference, for instance, or getting them to donate. I mean, you see NGOs all over. Sometimes the action you need them to take is donate to charity. Sometimes the action you need them to take is not exactly tied to sales. So that's why this definition can be restrictive when it comes to copywriting. But yes, it is correct in the context of when the action is sales, which often is the case with businesses and all that. So Mohammed says the ability. Well, I think Mohammed simply missed out the writing part. So with words, with written words, that's what copywriting. So if you had said the ability to convince someone to do something with written words, this definition would have been perfect, would have been amazing. But thank you, Mohammed. Yes, so Elizabeth says that it's an aspect of writing that's written to represent the brand. Now, so because, again, when you are writing these kind of things, you're writing to get people to take an action, you're writing to get people to do something. A lot of times, the idea is that you are writing as the brand. So if I'm getting you to come and buy, say I'm MTN, and I'm getting you to come and buy my SIM card, or I want you to buy SIM cards. As a copywriter, I need to write as MTN. So a lot of times, the copy that you write as a copywriter have to represent the brand. So in the context of that, this is correct. But again, that's restriction because sometimes there are third-party marketing channels that do not exactly require the copy to represent the brand. So the copy could be from a third party. In fact, nowadays you see some individuals, for instance, brand ambassadors and all those people. Sometimes they are speaking in their capacity as a brand, like the person as a brand, then giving you a call to action with respect to a third-party brand. So in that case, it's not exactly direct representation. So that's one of the examples of the limitations of this Elizabeth's definition. Okay, Ibrahim says any form of writing that persuades. Yes, Ibrahim, I agree with you totally. That is copywriting. Glory says copywriting is out of using words to sell. Yes, Glory, I agree with you. But please take note that, again, it's not always selling, except you want to be a little bit more broad with your definition of sales, your definition of selling, because it can be, just as I said, almost any other action, really. Click a button, getting people to click a button, getting people to fill a form, getting people to do anything, really. So it's sometimes broken down. Yes, again, sometimes the ultimate objective is sales, but the immediate objective is not. So your copy might not be directly inclined to sell. So all these things are what make that definition of sales slightly flawed. But again, just as I said, it is correct in certain contexts. But it is just safer to use the word or use words to get people to take an action, because that gives you a blanket to cover several kinds of action that you can use copy to achieve. Okay, Ahmad says copywriting is writing story to persuade and make sales. Agree with you. Cliff says using words to persuade people. Yes, Cliff, I agree with you, because it says it's the write-up targeted So Ngozi, if you say it's a write-up, it means you are defining copy, not copywriting. So when you start to nominalize, when you start to speak to the writing, then you are defining the copy, not the act of copywriting itself. Okay, Margaret says copywriting is salesmanship in print. Margaret, this almost feels like a textbook definition. Well done, using words to persuade people to take an action. Yes, Margaret, I agree with you totally. And again, because forgive me, guys, I'm able to. I like to interrogate definitions from as many angles as can be. And in my experience, you get to see that these days copywriting is expanding even beyond the written words. So sometimes you write things to be said, not exactly to be read by the reader. So there's a channel. So you write, for instance, video sales letters, which sometimes can either be acted or be used as voiceovers. So you as a copywriter might write it in text, but that does not mean that the ultimate target for that copy is going to interact with it in text. So they might listen to it or they might see it in action in the course of a video. So sometimes it's not in print. That's just the point I want to make from this Margaret's definition. Sometimes it's not salesmanship in print. Yes, you have written it to guide, to offer direction to a different marketing channel, which in this case can either be video and otherwise, or audio. So, but basically, I think that all of us have gotten a hang of what copywriting is. I want to believe so. If you don't have enough clarity, you are able to ask questions. Please, if you have any questions as we go by, you can put them in chat box. I'm able to respond to your questions as we go. And if you also need to, if you'd like to slow me down so that we can interact, if you'd like to ask your questions by unmuting, that also works, and go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to be moving on now so that we can beat time. So how does it work? I think we've already spoken to some parts of that, because again, because of the way copywriting is designed, it's not like regular writing. There's an entire system built around it that is also informed to some extent by the psychology of human beings. So by understanding some basic philosophies about human beings and how they react to certain stimuli, in this case words, you are able to come up with persuasive stuff that is more likely to get them to take an action. Now, notice that I said more likely because, again, there is no guarantee that copy would always give you 100% outcome. So you can write an amazing copy, clear, concise, call to action and all that, and maybe 8 of 10 people would make that buying decision. Or take the action that you require them to take in the course of that copy after reading it. This oftentimes is because there's a lot of other variables involved in the marketing. So you have to also be conscious of that it's not always this and that. But by understanding the systemic flow of these words, you are able to you're able to work out what arrangement of words, what kind of writing works best to help you get the action that you desire from the people that you desire. So please notice my choice of words, the action that you desire from the people that you desire, because again, not all copy are directed to everybody. Imagine that you were selling, for instance, diapers. If you are selling diapers, chances are you maybe want to speak more to people who have babies. If you write amazing copy and you go to share it with people that don't have babies, they won't buy your copy. They won't buy your product. They won't take the action you need them to take. Not because your copy is bad, but because they don't need your product. So there's several dynamics involved in the copywriting process. There's some science to it. There's some art to it, and it's an entire interesting flow of processes really, from the ideation parts. I mean, where you have to carry out some research, because a lot of times, I'm sure that a lot of us, almost all of us, have interacted with ads at some point in our lives, whether written, whether visual, whether video, audio. We've interacted with ads. In fact, we use YouTube you can't even tell me that, except you use premium. And even if you use premium, I'm sure that you've seen ads somewhere else, whether on billboards, whether on TV, almost everywhere else. So I'm sure that you have interacted with copy. Almost every one of us have interacted with copy at some point in our lives. And sometimes certain copy get to us better than others. Again, depending on certain variables, maybe because some of the pain points in there appeal to us directly, sometimes because the words used resonate more with us, and several other variables. But this is just to highlight to you guys that a lot of times when you see these things, when you see this copy, when you see these words there, they are not random. They are not, I mean, somebody just didn't just sleep and see them in a dream. There's several processes that have gone on the back end, research, sometimes even testing. So they've maybe, please read this, how does it make you feel? And carry out all those things on the back end before scaling it, before putting it out there and mass for all of, for everybody to react and for them to get the outcomes that they deserve. So copywriting is a lovely skill, it's a beautiful skill. And that's not even the juiciest part. So the juiciest part is the earning. At the beginning of this session, I asked questions about skills that you think are high income skills. And somebody mentioned copywriting. I don't know if this person has some background or has some idea or has a friend who's a copywriter. But I promise you that it is an high income skill. And of course, I'd expect that the next question that you want to ask is why? Why is it a high income skill? So yes, copywriting is a high income skill because for the main reason that it's, sorry about this. For the main reason that it's tied oftentimes to sales. Somebody made that definition, but I think that definition was quite correct. It's tied to sales. And a lot of times when there's sales, people want to, or even business owners, once you're able to guarantee them sales, there's a marketing investment. So if you're able to offer a person sales, then they are more than willing to pay you for it one time. That's if you're not even involved directly. So if you imagine that if it was your product you're trying to sell, the more the sales, the more you can earn. But if you were doing it for a third party, because you are sure of the potential of what you are able to sell, what you're able to offer the person, you are able to charge premium. Just take note, you're able to charge premium because ultimately this kind of writing is tied to results. So if you're able to deliver results, you're able to get paid premium. You can look it up yourselves. The average rates of copywriter across the world, really. And you see for yourself that copywriters are, they're quite well to do. But this is not to suggest that copywriting is a walk in the park. It means that if you want to earn good money as a copywriter, you have to know your audience. You have to know what you are about. You have to know what you are able to offer. Really, you have to know you have to understand the fundamentals, because unlike creative writing or article writing or some kinds of content writing, it just requires you to do the expository, maybe narrative work and be done with it. And when people read and they're like, oh, lovely writing and all that, that's good. Copywriting is result oriented, it's tied to results. So I mentioned earlier that it's tied to an action oftentimes. So if the action, your measure of the success of your copy is tied to that action. So if you write copy and you want to measure how successful it is simply by measuring how many people take the action that is tied to. So if it sells, how many products did you sell? If it is click a link, how many people clicked that link? If it is donate money, how many people donated? So copywriting is a highly functional space. It is tied strictly to results. So that is why, unlike some other skills, a lot of people are not able to wing copywriting because you can easily be detected if you are a fraud. If you're not good at it, you can easily be detected. Oh, this copy does not read well, or this copy is not delivering. I mean, it's easy to find you out. Precious Grant, your hand is raised. Do you have a question for me? Hi, Precious. I'm not sure Precious is with me, but do you guys understand what do you understand so far? Okay, Precious says he has. Please go on. If you don't want to talk, you can type it in the chat box. I'll just take the question. But basically, I hope that I've been able to bring you into that reality of copywriting, into understanding what it is. Because if you don't understand what it is, you're not able to want it. You're not able to, and even if you want it, you have to understand. In fact, it goes hand in hand. So if you understand it, that can either spur you to want it. And if you want it, understanding it helps you to know what the next steps to take are. So now that you've seen that, oh, copywriting is this, copywriting is that, it's not exactly like typical writing. It's not, even if you're a great writer, written essays here and there, published here and there, have maybe 1 or 2 books out, it does not mean that you will be a great copywriter, because just as I said, copywriting has a flow of itself and it is tied to results. So you have to understand that system of things for you to do well as a copywriter. And that's why, that's what we offer in the course copywriting program. So the course copywriting program is designed in such a way that it allows anybody really, because we understand that a lot of folks in this part of the world, in Nigeria particularly, do not have any background with respect to copywriting. So maybe some have some background with respect to writing, other kind of stuff. But when it comes to copywriting, a lot of people don't have that background. So the crushing copywriting program is a program that's designed to help people go from absolute naivety, that's at that point where you don't know anything about copywriting, to becoming proficient copywriters. So it's a modular system of lessons that is designed to, if you're ready to get into copywriting, if you want to be a copywriter, it's a system of courses, not a course, it's one course, but it's modular. So it's in modules. Each module allows you to learn one very important highlight of copywriting that you are able to take away that would equip you to be a great copywriter. Because again, let me see if I have that slide. I don't know, something messed up in my slides. That slide is also missing. So again, because of the nature of copywriting nowadays, there are several arms to it. There are several angles to it. So there's different kinds of copywriting. There's website copywriting. There's email, what's it called? Direct response copywriting. There's landing page, UX copywriting. Several kinds of copywriting across different forms, depending on the kind of action that you need people to take. For instance, in direct response copywriting, that is even hinged on time. So if you need people to if you want to get immediate response from campaigns, or because sometimes you're able to take time in the course, maybe grow a lead. They're called leads in marketing. That's people that have a tendency to buy what you're offering. You are able to, over a period, grow a lead up until they make that buying decision. On direct response, you want to get results and you want to get it fast. So the way that you would write in direct response is significantly more urgent than the way that you would write when you're writing, than the way that you write when you're writing in other kinds of copywriting really. So in the Scottish Copywriting Program, just as I said, it's been designed, it's modular, it's been designed to help you go through all these fundamentals, to help you learn at least all the basic types, such that by the time you're done, by the time you come out of the course, you have a good grasp on all the essentials you need to get started as a copywriter. But it doesn't even end there. The course is also designed because, again, somebody mentioned earlier that it's easy to learn a skill. Monetizing it is where it becomes tricky. So there's modules, in fact, there's entire lessons dedicated to monetizing the copywriting skill. I know that post-COVID, there's a lot of lessons, courses out there, and a lot of times, take a course, but you don't know what to do with it. But the CIC doesn't work like that. The CIC is designed in such a way that as soon as you finish, in fact, sometimes even before you finish your copywriting course, there's a client acquisition phase that is activated to you, that is activated for you, such that once you get to that point in the course, you are required to start actively worrying about client acquisition, start getting clients that would pay you for the skill that you've learned. Now, this is, of course, is divided into 3 fundamental parts. So there's the Upwork module. Upwork, basically, for those that know Upwork, it's a freelance marketplace where people are able to offer services and skills to earn. So there's the Upwork module, there's the Fiverr module. Fiverr is also another these are the two largest, if I'm correct, freelance markets globally. So you can earn good money on these platforms. And there's the LinkedIn module. So a lot of people often think that LinkedIn is just, professional network, just go on there, acquire followers, become an influencer, or just go on there and put, I'm happy to announce, put on my wins. But you'll be shocked at the amount of transactions that is happening on LinkedIn daily. I mean, professionals are actively acquiring clients on that platform. So the third module is designed to help you offer this new skill that you have learned to professionals that need it on that platform, so that you're able to also earn via LinkedIn. You understand the client acquisition angle to LinkedIn, which I think personally is important, because again, what's the point of all that? Well, except you enjoy it and you just want to keep doing that kind of stuff on LinkedIn, which is not bad. But if you want your LinkedIn to be more, if you want to monetize your skill with LinkedIn, it is one of the best places, because again, that's one of the places where you're able to connect easily with other professionals, irrespective of where they are, who they are, and all that. So yes, that's the other facet. So I'm just going to quickly do a walkthrough of the learning platform, just to give you guys an insight of what the inside looks like. Okay, but while I'm doing that, I'm just going to attend to Precious's question. Precious is asking what it takes to create a mind-captivating content as a copywriter. So Precious, thank you so much for this question. But the tricky thing about your question is that, I said it earlier that a lot of times when you see that flyer out there, or you see that ad, you don't know the amount of things the amount of processes that have gone into creating it. So there's several processes involved. And it's one of the first things that you learn. We like to call it the task execution summary. So your task execution summary it defines all the steps that you take to achieve copy that works. And oftentimes it starts with identifying first off who you're trying to speak to, who you're trying to speak with, who your product, service, whatever it is, who it is for. So for instance, you're selling, let me use that diaper example again. You're selling diapers. It only makes sense that you try to sell to people that have babies. So you have to do what we call a customer avatar profiling and identify that market. Or sometimes it's not, if it's not an entire market, that market segment. Once you identify that via profiling, you're able to then do some other kinds of research. There's a before and after grid that helps you identify what your product is offering in terms of transformation. There's a competitor's research component to it. Oh, what you're offering, what you're saying, has it been done before? People that are selling it before you, or people that are selling it with you, how did they sell theirs? What was the outcomes of their selling techniques and all that? Are there certain words that are peculiar, registered as peculiar to your industry? There's also regulation considerations? Are there regulation considerations that you need to look out for? So there's an entire process of things, but it starts by understanding that there's a difference between persuasive writing and regular writing, because again, persuasive writing is hinged on results, it's tied to objectives. So you need to be able to identify that in line with your writing. So once you have that, and of course with all this background processes, there's more to it depending on what you're trying to achieve. There's more to all these things, but once you identify all these things, you're able to then go through these processes to achieving copy that works. Okay, so yeah, this is what the inside of the question copywriting course looks like. So that I said to you, it's modular. So you can see this is the first module. It's just a welcome module. And what happens in here basically is trying to do some form of onboarding for you. So here you get to learn about, again, it starts with the mindset. You're not able to convince anybody to take any action if you're not sure yourself, if you're in doubt. So you need to have that, that sturdy mindset, that mindset of a copywriter, because if I'm going to say to you to come buy this course, it's because I'm sure of the course. It's because I've been in the course and stuff like that. So you need that sturdiness also as a copywriter. You want to see somebody click this link, you need to be able to say the level of confidence that reflects in your writing, that is almost apparent, almost tangible from your writing. Okay, so that's what the first module does. It's basically a walkthrough, just onboarding really, and the action actually starts in the first module. So if you see this, it's just the welcome module. The first module, which is 2, walks you through all the mindset secrets, copywriting versus content writing, because some people have some background with writing, probably have done some kind of writing in the past, maybe even some from money, because again, one beautiful thing about these platforms where I mentioned earlier that you can earn is that copywriting is not the only skill that you're able to offer, that you can go on there and offer creative writing skills. Go on there to offer ghost writing services, so you can ghost write an entire book if you want. But if it's copywriting you want, you need to be sure of what you are able to offer, because if you cannot offer the skill, you will be easily discovered. There's no winging or hiding or pretending to be a copywriter for too long, except you just keep saying it and you will not be writing. But the moment you start to write, you'll be easily discovered. But the tricky thing about that is that, again, nobody's born a copywriter, so you have to learn. That's the thing. So it's important that you learn. That's what you get to learn in here. I mean, copywriting versus content writing, persuasive writing, fundamentals of persuasive writing. Because again, that's fundamental to any kind of copy that you write, whether it's what's it called, for websites, whether it's email, whether it's flyers and all that. So that's where it starts from. Again, so the rote exercises are one traditional kind of learning that has been proven to give amazing, fantastic results over time. Basically, how they work is by simply writing some of the greatest copy in history. You are able to get familiar, you are able to train your mind towards copywriting, because you start to understand what good copy should look like, what good copy should feel like. Okay, in second module, then you start to get your hands dirty. I mentioned the task execution summary already, building the customer avatar, that's customer avatar profiling, before and after grid. Headlines. Now, headlines are fundamental. In fact, your every good copy starts with an amazing headline. So headline, creating great headlines, and of course, assignments. So I need to also mention this. Another beautiful thing about this, because getting started as a freelance copywriter requires that you have a viable portfolio. If you want to pitch to a client, if you want the client to hire you, it's important that you're able to convince them that you can do a good job. And one of the ways that you can convince them is with your portfolio. So if your portfolio has great stuff in it, it will be easier, relatively easier for you to convince them than if you do not have anything. It's like a tailor coming to you to say, oh, I'm a great tailor. These are samples of what I've made before. These are some dresses that I've made before. You're able to trust them, as against a tailor who just comes to you and say, oh, I'm a great tailor, but they don't have any samples. They've not made anything before. That's why the assignments are in there. So the assignments are designed in such a way that from the assignments, you are able to, you're able to compile the assignments, because they're from real-time briefs that we have actually worked on. So you are able to work on these briefs and compile them into a portfolio at the end of the course when you start your client acquisition process. So the course is basically designed, just as I said, to take you from, oh, I don't know anything about copywriting, to I'm earning as a copywriter. So it's amazing like that. And yeah, I'm just going to breeze through again because of our time. So module 3, basically sales letters, what a sales letter should be, what it should have, what each part, what are the most important parts of a sales letter, make up a sales letter. That is in 3 videos. But of course, almost this entire module is dedicated to that. I mean, this like I said, you have real-time briefs in here. Landing pages. So landing pages are an insightful and interesting kinds of copy that to look out for, because they're all over now with the significant growth in digital marketing across. Landing pages are inevitable, they're everywhere. And when there are landing pages, if you want your landing pages to be functional, then you need a copywriter to work on it. So it's, in fact, I know copywriters who specialize in this kind of copy. That's the only kind of copy they write, landing page copy. And they're not doing, in fact, they're doing well. If you want to confirm these things for yourself, you can go on job boards, go on Upwork, go on Fiverr, and just search for landing pages and see the amount of clients that are requesting, or for Fiverr, you might not be able to see clients, but see the professionals that are offering these services and see how they're faring. Okay. Then scalable ads, Facebook ads, product descriptions. I think one of the biggest, I shared my story earlier, but one of the biggest incomes that I got when I started out as I didn't even know I was a copywriter, but when I started out writing for money, was a product description, because the product description jobs oftentimes they come in bulks, so you're able to earn more. I remember doing a lot of products basically. So you just put on an Excel sheet, share with you, please write description, 150 to 200 words or something for all these products, and they pay you in bulk. So because you do you could do as much as sometimes 1,000 products, and you're able to charge for that and earn in, of course, it's good dollars. So sometimes you see the dollars raking as high as 1,000 plus on a single contract. But again, you need to understand what it is. So you're not just going there to write gibberish or to just write random stuff. You need to understand what a good product description is, how it works, and stuff like that. And that's why it's in here. Website copywriting. I mean, everybody has interacted with websites, and you might not pay close attention to it, but I promise you that when a website copy is written by a content writer or by a copywriter, yes, some content writers, because when you specialize, you start to understand it better, some of these dynamics. So sometimes lines between copywriting and content writing, especially with respect to website, they're usually blurred. But with time, you start to understand the dynamics of it really. So a great website, you design can be fine and looks sweet and all that, captivating, but without the right kind of copy, it just feels off. So that is fundamental. Website copy, writing website content, it's viable. In fact, brands are looking for top copywriters to come write their website content, because they know that once they get it right, it's the start of many great things for their brand. So yeah, of course, just I mentioned this earlier. After your core copywriting course, you're introduced directly you're walk straight into client acquisition, where we handhold you for your first few client acquisition processes to be sure that you've gotten the hang of it and you're good to stand on your own. And after a while, we trust you to do what you need to do. Of course, several bonuses in there, because again, there's only so much we can capture in the course. But the beautiful thing about that is that we also have live sessions twice weekly to offer support to all our paid students. So as against these kind of sessions that we have once in a while, maybe once monthly or twice monthly or thereabouts, our live sessions hold twice weekly. So paid students are able to access me, myself, Jury, and every other person that we have in the course very much easily, because again, they're paid students and we're obliged to them. But as against you guys, who I'm only obliged to for this hour, and I will be running away from after. So it's basically hands-on all the way, all the support that you need. This is the Upwork Crash course, Fiverr course, LinkedIn course. In fact, the bonuses are endless. They are just keep on getting longer, because once we ourselves, because we are also actively freelancing, we're also actively writing. So once we come across anything new, we are in there. We are the first to mention it and to say it, really, to bring it up in the course of our live sessions, because of our meetings and all that stuff. So basically, okay, I think that's the highlight of what's going on in the CIC. Right now, because of our time, I'm just going to take questions so that we can have some feedback. Oh, Precious is asking if we have an after course follow-up. So the way the course is designed is such that once you finish with the core course and you are in fact, once you finish the core course, you are already in client acquisition, you are automatically, you're a member of the community. So currently we have a community of, I think, over 500 people. Some are still in the learning phase, in their copywriting learning phase. Some are already top earners as copywriters. In fact, one student I was working with closely recently crossed the 1K USD mark. That's over the past week. Oh no, I think that was last week. Yeah, she crossed the $1K mark on Upwork and all that. So it's fun because even after the course, you're in there. You can attend the live sessions, or contribute, be part. You are in the community, offer support when you can. So there's no, we don't say, oh, you've graduated, just get out of here and go away. No, you're still a member of the CIC community. So in fact, that's perhaps one of the biggest perks that you get to enjoy with the CIC community. Okay, does any other person have any questions? Mohammed is asking, so yeah, in fact, Mohammed, the beautiful thing about this, your question is that you don't necessarily have to even have finished. I promise you, right from module 4, you are able to, you have what it takes to write amazing copy, to write mind-blowing copy. But we encourage that you finish it so that you are able to have that holistic view of things and you understand how, because there's dynamics to client acquisition. You find out that some clients, some copywriters do not understand how to get clients, the art of proposal writing, the art of pitching, the understanding these platforms. What makes Fiverr work for you? What makes Upwork work for you? Why does LinkedIn work for you? So things like that. So, but I promise you that by the fourth module thereabouts, you're already ready to start writing mind-blowing copy. Okay. So yeah, this is the slide I was talking about earlier that I was going to share about some of the amazing opportunities that exist, because the truth about copywriting these days is that it's getting so expansive that you might not even be able to do all kinds of copywriting. So there's different opportunities for copywriting, even within copywriting rather. So there's landing page copies, I mean, lead magnets, copywriting, ebooks, instructional guides, all those, even brochures these days. I don't think brochures are mentioned on here. Templates, designing templates, email marketing, and all that. So this does not even capture everything. Okay, so she's asking, what does it take to acquire the skill and how long does it take? So if you are going to come in the academy, that's in the CIC program, basically you just need to enroll. You just need to enroll, get in the CIC program. But typically we pace the course at a module weekly. That's the projection that we give, that you should be able to do a module weekly. But sometimes you find out that due to some reasons beyond control, you might need to extend. So typically, one would expect that the entire course takes you about 8 weeks. That's with the client acquisition modules. But sometimes you find out that maybe it's a little longer than that, and you need to take more. But once you get in the course, you have access to the modules for a year, after which your access to the modules are revoked, but you still remain a member of the community. So you are still in the community, but you have access to the modules for a year. So I think, in fact, I think a year is too much to learn all you need to do. But we understand that sometimes you might have to go back to make some references to some things. But at the most, if you're diligent with it, 8 to 10 weeks at most, you should be done with everything in there. So all you just need to do is enroll. Let me share the enrollment details. So if you want to enroll, you can visit this link, or let me put this phone number in the chat box. That's Corridate's phone number. If you want to get more details about enrollment. Now, to get started, you could just send a chat on WhatsApp or do a call. And if you have other questions as well about the course and how to get started, I just put a number in there. Okay. Dick Rice is asking, as a website copywriter, will I be writing blog posts? So yes, you can as a matter of fact. I mean, because if you take a website project, it means that you probably understand the brand. But if you don't want to, it's simply about you informing the client that you are not able to take on this, because blog posts are routine. So outside the typical website project, you will be required to do it on a schedule, on a routine. So if a client is willing to pay you for that, lovely. And if you are not interested, that's also fine, but you can. Okay, Tosin is asking, does course teach how to make market research for clients' business? As a matter of fact, yes. What's the point of the whole thing? I think I showed module 2 and all the things happening there. So basically what module 2 is designed to do is to give you insights to everything that happens in the course of market research, from customer profiling to what's it called? From customer profiling to competitors research, before and after grids, every single thing basically. That's all that happens in there. So yes, you get everything you need for market research. Okay. When guys asking, is the course self-paced and how much does it cost? So there are 3 packages in the program. There's the LI package that allows you access to everything. I mean, all the modules for both client acquisition, both in personal branding and all that stuff. All the modules you have access. You have exclusive access to instructors as well in that module. So you're able to schedule calls if you need support and all that stuff. There's the premium package that is slightly less, offers slightly less than the LI package. And I think 1 or 2 modules are missing in there. Also, you might not get as much hands-on support as you would get with the LI package. And there's the basic package that just allows you access to the fundamental copywriting course. So if you want to upgrade to the client acquisition course, you might need to do an upgrade in there. So their prices are at different levels, but let me just share. Sorry, let me just share a URL where you can get all the details in the chat box. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to just verify the URL before I drop. All right. So I've dropped that URL in chat box. You can easily just visit on there. But if you'd like to just chat, somebody, I put the number there. That's Corede's number. She's able to offer all the answers that you need across. So if you have any questions about price, about bundles, about packages, what's happening, you can ask Corede. But Corede doesn't pick our calls. You'd have to forgive her for that. You can send a text. I'm sure she'd respond to that. Apologies for that. What you could also do is send me a chat. So I'll drop my number just for you, Mohammed. Other people should please not send me a chat. But I'll drop my number for you, Mohammed. So please send me a chat on WhatsApp or a text. I'll respond and link you up. So I just sent you my number. I just sent you my number. Okay. So Tosin is asking, is the course self-paced? Yes, it is, as a matter of fact, because we understand that everybody does not learn at the same pace. So it is important that we allow people to learn at their own pace. So yes, it is self-paced, but just as I said again, there's a general live support session weekly. So irrespective of where you are in the course, you have access to an instructor during that live sessions weekly. So Thursdays and Saturdays, that's when those sessions hold. So you can reach out. But if you're on the LI package, you can always schedule another time outside these sessions if you need to get some hands-on support. But yes, the course is self-paced. You learn at your own pace. You're not under any pressure at all. Well, of course, we always encourage so that you don't get lethargic with the course. Okay, Precious, I think I have shared the details. Okay, after registering, can we download the course? No, it's online. You're not able to download the course. And I don't think it's quite a lot. I'm not sure I want to download all of this. So it's online. You have to take the course online. But there's the Telegram community where you have access But even that, you have to be online. These days, everything is hosted online or Freelance. Okay, so I think I saw Jire on the call earlier. Hi, Jire, are you still there?
Hi, Jabba. Great session today.
Thank you, thank you. So Jire is our in the CIC. Amazing copywriter, if I do say so myself. Probably, I'm sure some of you might have read emails from him, so you're able to attest to that. I don't know if you have any words to share about the realities of earning as a freelance copywriter.
I just really like the fact that you spoke about the reality of the market and how we have so much opportunities in this space right now. And one thing that you said that really got to me was that it is not enough for you to learn a skill. Say you want to learn how to write, you want to learn how to run ads, digital marketing and stuff like that. But you need to be able to move your skill, whatever you've acquired, you need to be able to move it to profit. And that's really important. I think that is the problem we have now in Nigeria. Everybody's taking courses and courses and courses, but nobody is spending time to implement what they have learned. And if you go to Google, if you go to ProBlogger, if you go to Flex Jobs, if you go to LinkedIn, there is so many jobs on there. There's so many ads for jobs on there. But do you know how to apply to those jobs? Can you talk to those clients? Can you get them to pay you into your bank account? Can you deliver what they need to move their business forward? And that's pretty much what we do in CIC. We teach you, we show you the exact script to even use to talk to your client. And sometimes we even show you, we show you our own backend, what we've said to clients, our own conversation with clients. So you can see that when we mention these monies, it is really, it is realistic, right? And almost 600 people have gone through the CIC program, and they now understand that it is very, very easy to land these clients and make money online if you use our system. And I think that if you've been in this class for almost 1 hour now or more, I think you have what it takes, right, to get started on your journey. So I pretty much, if you want to come in now, because we're just going to start the enrollment period, cohort based really, and you can come in now, you can talk to Korede over WhatsApp to learn about the packages, or you can go to the website and then choose any of the packages available, right? So if anybody has any question for me, I'm able to answer the question right in here in the next 1 to 5 minutes, and we can call it a day. Thanks so much for joining this webinar today. I'm really excited that you guys made it here today. So if you have any questions for me or for Joba, and we can then wrap this up.
Okay, thank you so much, Ray. Questions, guys? Vic Rice is asking about creating a portfolio website. I want to buy domain name and hosting for the Vic Rice. I like your enthusiasm, because you're already at the portfolio, you're already thinking portfolio websites. But yes. So there are several angles to it, depending on how you want to start. If you want to start, there are free plans. There are portfolio websites that allow you a free plan that you can start with. But if you're able to also buy and start with your own website, lovely, great, start with that. You just have to be, just as I said earlier, intentional with it, so that you are sure that the website is working for you and it's not just there for aesthetics. And lovely, interestingly, there's also something about that personal branding module. I think that's module 6, if I'm correct. So you
Right.
get to learn all about that, about personal branding, what things you should look out when you're picking a name for your brand, and all that stuff. So it's important. But just as I said, it is important that you have the skill first. You are able to offer the skill. You're able to write copy, because without that, everything else is not. It's not going to work. Okay. Kennedy is asking if the 50K package covers LinkedIn. Kennedy, I don't think. Kennedy, do you want LinkedIn in 50K?
Jabba, Maybe I could
Okay.
just share the portal quickly. If you
Okay.
make me a host, I could just share
All
so
right.
that people can
See
understand
the
what they are
details.
getting in
Each
in
package.
the packages, right? 1 second. Tu- 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 tu. Just give me a moment. Right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen in 1 2 seconds, and so that we can see the package description. Right. So the thing about the CIC, the thing about the CIC packages is that, you know, we have people who are already landing clients, people who already know how to get clients online, but, you know, clients are rejecting their jobs, or they feel like they need to learn better, or people who are already, you know, entrepreneurs, and they want to be able to learn the fundamentals of closing, sales, marketing, and all of that, so they can take the basic package. And if you look at what we do in the basic package, really, it's just to teach you the fundamentals of sales writing. And you see all of the modules on there, the modules, the proposal writing masterclass, and all that in the basic package. But you do not have the Fiverr course, you do not have the Upwork course, you don't have the branding for copywriters on there, you don't have the LinkedIn class, you don't have any of those things. All you have in the basic package is just a training, pretty much for people who want to understand how things work online, so that they can use this knowledge, they can adapt this knowledge to their own business. Or, you know, when they want to hire people, they know who to hire. And, you know, at the end of the day, they're able to improve their own personal businesses. Then the premium package is pretty much like the ideal for most people. Most of our students are either in the premium or in the elite package, and that covers the basic course, covers the Fiverr course, covers the Upwork course, but we don't have the LinkedIn, the code emailing, and the what's it called, the branding for copywriters on there. But the elite package captures everything. The elite package is the package for those people who really want to, like, you know, make copywriting like a full-time business. They want to make their first $1,000 and then scale to like $5,000 per month and things like that. So this captures everything that we offer in that package, right? The LinkedIn class, the Fiverr class, the Upwork class, and everything is in that package. And the way the CIC works is like Joba said to you, that you learn the skill from all the modules, module 1 to 5. Then we teach you how to brand yourself. We teach you how to write your proposals. There are a lot of jobs online. You need to be able to write eye-catching proposals, persuasive proposals, really get these people to respond to you, get them on Zoom, talk to them over Zoom, close them, you know, appeal to their needs. You need to be able to build your portfolio, which is the essence of the assignments that we give in the academy. We want you to be able to face your fears in the academy before you go out there. You discover that a lot of people will tell you, oh, there's no money in copywriting, and that's because they do not have a portfolio. You know, people want to make money online, but they don't want to do anything. People want to make money online, but they don't want to offer value to people, right? So the only way you're going to be able to make money from writing legitimately is if you build a portfolio. You know how to write persuasive proposals. You know how to use these platforms, LinkedIn, Fiverr, Upwork. You know how to, you know, get your client to see that you are a proper copywriter, which you will learn in branding and all of that. And there's an ongoing support for you as a CIC member. There is additional lessons, you know, every now and then, just to make sure that you're well grounded. So if anybody wants to learn more about this system, this is a system that has worked again and again for a lot of people, you know, HOPs of banks, graduates, entrepreneurs, a lot of people across the world. There are even students from Australia, there are students from Bangladesh who have taken this course. And I think that if these people can succeed in this venture. I want to believe that everyone on here can give this a shot, and at the end of the day, they will be able to realize their income potentials, right? And also do some other things with this skill, right? So I'm going to stop here, so because I don't want to elongate this webinar further than this. So I'm going to stop sharing, and if there's any other question, we can then take it. Does the course offer how to receive funds international? Yes, there are different strategies to receive funds that we cover in the course. There's the Pioneer, there's the there are other methods where you go to a particular website. They are all in the appendix in the course. Are we going to maintain this time for the course instructions, or do you have specific time, something like a timetable or something? Like Jabari said, the platform is self-paced, right? Once you come into the course, then you'll be given your own specific logins to access the course portal at any time of the day. And afterwards, there is a specific calendar every Thursday at 6 p.m. we meet with the paid students, right, over Zoom, where we teach them additional strategies, where we show them what is working right now in 2022 as at today, 25th of September, right? And also there's also an additional special class on Saturday. That means if you come into the program, for some reason you missed the Thursday class, you're able to make it to the Saturday class. And there are instructors who mark your assignments, who grade your responses. And even if by the time you spend 2 weeks in the CIC Academy, you can measure your progress. 85 point something % of the students in the CIC Academy had zero knowledge of copywriting when they started. They knew nothing about copywriting. We have the statistics in the back end. We have all of this data to show you that it's very, very possible for somebody who knew nothing about copywriting or online income generation, right, to get into this venture. So you can start with the basic plan and you can upgrade later. That's very, very possible. All you have to do is just pay the difference in the amount and you will be upgraded. Alternatively, you can also pay in installment. So instead of paying 100K for the earliest package at once, you can pay 60K now and then pay 40K in 30 days. For the premium package, you can also pay 45 now and 30K in under 30 days. So I just want to encourage you on here, like we mentioned in the emails, that this webinar is not to force money out of your pocket. It's just to show you and convince you that truly, if you are patient and open-minded and you're ready to dedicate your time the next 90 days, you can exit 2022 as a millionaire and you can begin 2023 on a high note. I mean, it's a no-brainer now that everybody needs to find a way to be able to raise money online by themselves without having to jump into, on a bus, go to work, the regular 9 to 5. Even if you do that, you still need to be able to make money on demand, right? If you need to have the superpower to be able to generate income for yourself at any time of the day, regardless of where you are in the world, right? So, like I said, if you want to learn more about the course, right, you can go to the website and get more information. And if you want to learn more, if you want to ask more questions, you should message Korede, right? So I think that's that on the pricing and our packages for CIC, right? So I think we can wrap up this meeting now. Do we have any questions? I think I'm good to go, Jabba.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jerry. And thank you to everybody that has chosen to stay with us up until now. I hope that it has been worth your while. I hope that you have learned one, two new things. I hope that you have become more open-minded to earning, and you are starting to look at earning really in a more pragmatic way, because a lot of people, when you hear these numbers, it feels like they're so far off, that, hey, 1 million, so distant. But I had someone do the math earlier, and you see it for yourself. So it means that if you took on 5 $200 jobs, or if you took on 7 $200 jobs, you would most likely have earned $1 million. So which is easier to do, to take on 7 $200 jobs, or to try to earn 50K, or try to earn 2K naira up until 1 million naira. So basically, it's just about understanding how these things work, the dynamics of these things, and working around them. Thank you again for joining in. If you are looking to take the next step, that's choosing to come in the academy, we can't wait to have you. It'd be lovely to have you. And I will be seeing, I guess I'll be seeing more of you. But otherwise, just like I said, we'll most likely be having sessions like this from time to time. So you're also free to join us whenever you get the mail. Yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys around. Take care and have a great week. Cheers, guys.